taking in 5 deep breaths, breathing in the light of that mantra. So welcome to Satsang. Namaste. So as the subject is understanding and compassion, that being which I found represents the sort of epitome of compassion is Christ. So this is why we have a specific mantra for Christ to invoke his presence to support the gathering. So I know it's a long mantra. Maybe one day people will memorize it. It's very, very, one could say powerful in that it invokes the 4 major archangels as well as the Divine Mother Shekinah and Christ to be with us. So in another way of saying it, it's like going to heaven. And here in Satsang, we're trying to create a heaven for ourselves, a place where we feel the love so strongly that it just awakens our own heart and it changes our experience on earth. It transforms our own inner experience. Just because heaven and hell are all a matter of perspective or a matter of how your inner being experiences it. And one being on earth could experience earth as heaven and another can experience it as hell. And it just depends on what kind of spiritual work you've done. So this is a very strong purification gathering where, if you would like to experience more compassion, then you need an energy that will push out those selfish energies that block the compassion from naturally springing forth from your being. So this mantra will assist in that. And then you can just literally imagine yourself in heaven. Maybe heaven represents like a kind of Garden of Eden with so many beautiful flowers and the fragrance, the sweet fragrance of the flowers in the air, and the butterflies kind of flitting about. And the sound of birds. beautiful lush trees providing sort of perfect shade. And the light of heaven just glowing everywhere. And then you could just imagine then the four archangels kind of descending into this space and sitting with you in meditation and supporting your meditation. Maybe they have these sort of huge wings, and their emanation is just bliss. And so you're surrounded by the bliss. And with each soft, sweet breath, the bliss just infuses your being. Not just your body, but your whole energy system, your aura, your chakras, everything just lights up with the bliss of the angels surrounding you. And then also you could imagine your own heart. They're glowing, and the image of Christ, the living Christ is there in your heart and sitting on a lotus flower and meditating there. And just such an immense love from him as you feel into your heart chakra. And just feel the happiness and contentment overflowing inside you. And that happiness is sparkling everywhere, just infinitely. And you merge with that energy. and you can see how you can create, you can literally create your own heaven on earth. And this can be so strong that it stays with you always. And the body could be walking around on earth, but your consciousness is just sort of this infinite happiness that is always in tune. It never shuts down, it never stops. It's just an endless bliss. And that's the idea of, instead of having a miserable life of, instead of having a miserable life, you create your own world. That's the idea. And, hey, Josh, can you hand me that? The internet just went off, thank you. Let's hope that it turn back on.
She has a cane, so
There. Hopefully. Oh, it's successfully connected. Okay. Good, that works. Just careful of this, yeah, thank you. So that's the idea, is to create your own world and then to keep it. So if you are in a gathering like this and creating a sort of world of bliss, and then you go out into the world and then someone cuts you off in traffic or something, and then you start shouting at them, then you may be able to sustain your meditation in a peaceful environment, but can you sustain it in very difficult circumstances on earth? Because it's virtually impossible to avoid difficult circumstances. You will be tested. In other words, your bliss will be tested. The power and strength of your state will be tested through meeting, mean people.
Wait, I curse people when they cut me off. Is that forbidden now?
If maybe one day your house burns down, maybe, there's some virus coming through or something like that. And then the question is does your heart shut down in fear, or does your bliss still maintain? Does it keep going? And that's the key to a true spiritual seeker. It's not about creating the perfect environment to make yourself happy, because that takes an extraordinary amount of effort, and no one's going to be able to obey your command to make the perfect space so that you can be happy. So, and perhaps you can compromise with people to some degree, and you will, but this world is meant to be a kind of like a washing machine, where you get washed. And I'm going to kind of say it in this way, but the Creator puts your being into a situation in which you can either grow by increasing your happiness in more and more situations, or you can choose to go downhill and get upset at all the situations that you've been put on. Either way, you could go. And, a true spiritual seeker is looking to take the challenge, not afraid of the challenge of meeting those difficulties. And what a great person to be around, where they actually they get into a certain situation that's challenging them, and they say, yes, good, bring it on, universe. I can handle this. I can stay peaceful. My boss just fired me. Great. I'll go and search for an even better job. the stock market crashed and my whole 401k went down to zero and I'm 60 years old, great. An opportunity to perhaps get another job and even grow and learn more. It's like a lot of people when they get to their age 60, like, oh, it's time to retire and I'm just not going to do anything and I'm just going to relax and live on an island and have a boat. I just kind of made that scenario up. But you see what I mean? Like it's almost like life ends. But what if the universe is saying, okay, you lost your 401k. Now your life is just beginning. Yeah. Now it's time for you to like get a new job and learn something new and like contribute something to society.
My mom turned 65 and became a mom of a
Right? A totally new scenario where instead of saying, feeling like, oh, I have so much responsibility now and oh, I have to get a job now, the spiritual seeker says, let me see the silver lining of this situation rather than seeing how seemingly bad it is. Universe is not here to hurt you or torture you, right? It's not here to create a living hell for you. It's more here like, what scenarios can I give you so you can raise in consciousness and you can purify your negativity? That is such a huge thing. So then I say, let me give you an example. I mentioned this to Josh, but I was making my breakfast the other day, and I had everything just perfect, the perfect egg, the perfect toast. It was like all perfect. And then I'm kind of moving the plate, and suddenly the whole plate drops, shatters on the ground, and the whole meal just gets like, it's in the glass, and I look at it, and there was an instant where I had the normal pattern of like being frustrated, that the whole breakfast after all this time of trying to make the breakfast was just shattered on the floor, right? After all that time, and I had to even go somewhere, even afterwards. Like I was somewhat in a hurry to get to a particular appointment. And so I stopped and I looked down and I said, thank you, God. Thank you. And literally, the just instant of should I get frustrated was gone, and I was at peace in that moment the rest of the time. And I simply made a new breakfast and moved on. See, now my normal pattern is, it's almost like I trained myself. I have to get frustrated because that's just what I do. And that's what I think, that like things are not going my way. But if you see that the universe is actually conspiring to help you and you really believe that, then you'll say, awesome, my eggs and my toast are dead. Let me make a new and even better breakfast. And if I'm late for my next appointment, then that was meant to be, fine. Or I could have, left and just not eaten, or whatever choice I would have made. But the point is that my reaction was totally different than the past. And you see, that's how you clear karma. That's how you transform your negativity into peacefulness. Those scenarios, not the easy scenarios where everything's going well and I arranged everything so well so that, I feel great now and I feel so comfortable. No, it doesn't work like that. Earth is not meant to make you, if you're comfortable your whole life, you're missing out. Like a person who is rich their whole life, let's say has a silver spoon and they're just comfortable their whole life and they're not challenged. Oftentimes those people grow depressed. Oftentimes. Not saying always, but oftentimes. Because everything is given to them. So they don't have any challenge. So they don't have any sort of courage and self-esteem and any strength because they haven't been challenged in life. So the people who have been challenged in life, they have the greatest opportunities to grow spiritually. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so I'm this is maybe a whole different way of looking at things, because you look at our world today, and what I'm speaking of does not happen. Everyone is in fear of whatever is going on, the big events. You turn on the TV and you just see it. The news is emanating fear. You can feel it, right? So if, like, let's say at least 90% of the people in the world are in fear, how do you stay stable and stay grateful? Thank you for this virus. It allows me to gain strength and learn more about immunity and how to make my body immune and make my emotions immune. Thank you, virus. Like, you're literally thanking it. Because the virus isn't just some random thing that happened that someone did to sort of, send the world to pieces or something like that. It's a manifestation of the universe that says, here you go, guys. This is going to help you to get back in alignment. You know what happened after the virus came? The whole sky is cleared up from smog. Smog went away. Why? Because people were not driving their cars. I looked outside. It was so clear. I was so happy, right? Such a great benefit. Then people look and say, oh, yeah, now I can see a world without pollution. Let me do something. Let me regulate my life so I can have less and less pollution. Right? So then everyone starts changing and buying electric cars and recycling and cleaning up their neighborhoods. And then suddenly the earth is free of pollution and there's no more smog in the skies. And then you say again, thank you, virus. You did us a huge favor. See the difference in reaction? Like, not that that's happening, but I mean, if you look at your life like that, then you will feel very, very fulfilled, because you'll see everything as an opportunity to grow and become a happier, more peaceful human being. And then you can actually help others. If you are fearful, how can you help anyone? You're spreading fear wherever you go, even if you pretend, I'm not afraid. You have a fearful transmission that is creating a collective consciousness in which other people catch on to. So you transform your fear into peace, and then you go out into the world with a helping hand and help other people to become less fearful around a worldwide pandemic. Then you're helping people instead of contributing to the fear. Right? That would be amazing. I mean, and then not only that, but then you sit down and you go, oh, wow. Then you start to sort of spread your wings and you start to feel like, oh, I'm sharing like more love and kindness and stuff. And then you start to spread it to, let's say, other countries. Do you know how like people oftentimes refer to us as USA? Us. That's US, right? Us. It's oftentimes how we refer to us versus them. Then it becomes like a worldwide thing, because the pandemic is a worldwide thing. So then everyone starts to become your brother and sister, and then you are starting to go to other countries and helping them as well. And then you end up like there ends up being no starvation, because if everyone's your brother and sister, no one's going to starve. You're going to specifically help the people who are in need. There's not going to be hunger. There's not going to be thirst. There's not going to be like homelessness. Everyone's going to have a home through that attitude of compassion. Because I'm at peace, I have room in my consciousness to assist others and spread the love. If I'm fearful, I'm going to be hiding in my house. And how can I help anyone? The huge, tremendous difference in consciousness. So just shifting the consciousness immediately solves all wars, solves all poverty, solves all, all conflict in the world. Everyone becomes your brother and sister. And this is the idea of Christ, what Christ was trying to teach. If you're a true Christian, then you live like Christ. And there's no such thing as us and you, me and you. So, the word in Sanskrit, in ancient India, for compassion is karuna. Karuna is the word. Karuna. Actually, maybe that people English has become like an English. It sounds almost like a surfing term, doesn't it? Karuna. Karuna means compassion. So you can invoke the energy of compassion through using the word karuna, because when we call this mantra, and you've chanted mantra before. Have you chanted mantra before? Okay. So mantra is a word. It's a power word. It has a particular vibration.
It's like doing the rosary, but instead of English, you're doing it in Sanskrit.
Yeah, it's a word that you repeat over and over again in order to create a certain kind of energy. And, this has been around. This started at the very beginning, everyone knows the Bible. And in the beginning there was the Word, and the Word was God. Right? So God infuses the Word with His power, His or her power, however you want to put it. And so that word is mantra. So in the beginning there was the Word. That's why it's like in the Bible, it's directly suggested, chant mantra from the very first sentence of the Bible. Chant the mantra, invoke the energy, and then connect with it, therefore connect with God, which represents, you could say, perfect virtue, perfect compassion, perfect love, perfect joy, perfect peace, perfect bliss. This is like the ultimate state of consciousness. And he gives the term at the very beginning, the word. And so we use that and chant it. And it is amazing how it works, how it just, the word sweeps through your system and clears out so much darkness. Like you feel the difference. And this is the key, the difference. You go from life is hard and depressing to, oh my God, I'm like naturally feeling so much joy. What just happened to me? You chant a word that invokes that presence, and then you walk around. You become the embodiment of the word. You embody the vibration that you chant. That's why I do these mantras in these gatherings. It's not a small thing. And all you have to do is be open. In a way, believe. Just believe that it works. And I've been doing this for years, and I am a completely different person. Since when I was age 30, when I first started the spiritual path and first started doing mantras, I'm totally different in how I act, how I feel. I am inconceivably different in who I am from, 15 years ago. So you chant the mantra, and this is, it's a little bit of a long mantra, but I'll kind of explain it. So it's Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Karuna Rupena Sanstita Namastasye 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 Namo Namah. It's an invocation actually of the goddess principle. Many people, especially in a lot of traditions, they focus so much on the male principle of the divine. But the male principle is the transcendental principle. It's that which watches everything, is beyond everything. The female principle is the vibration of this whole universe. It's what everything is made of, what your thoughts are made of, what your bodies, what your shoes are made of. It's all the vibration. That's the female principle. This is like the womb of God. The womb, right? So you have the watcher, who is the male principle, and then you have the vibration itself, which is the female principle. So technically, she's in charge. Technically. And actually, if you look at many families, it's like the woman gives birth to the child, so she's in charge. The child is most influenced by the mother. So, this is unless of course, there are certain, the male can be very involved, but I'm saying in general, the baby comes out of the womb. And so it's, even the mother's mood while the baby is in the womb affects the baby's consciousness. So the female has a huge responsibility to maintain her level, her happiness, her joy, her love, because that's feeding the consciousness of the baby. Right? That's so important. So I'll chant it. If you get it, you can sing it with me, and I'll chant it. Sometimes people can get it after a while. So it goes like this. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Karuna Rupena Sanstita. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Karuna Rupena Sanstita. Namastasye, 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 Namo Namah. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Karuna Rupena Sanstita. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Karuna Rupena Sanstita. Namastasye, 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 Namo Namah. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Karuna Rupena Sanstita. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Karuna Rupena Sanstita. Namastasye, 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 Namo Namah. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Karuna Rupena Sanstita. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Karuna Rupena Sanstita. Namastasye, 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 Namo Namah. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Karuna Rupena Sanstita. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Karuna Rupena Sanstita. Namastasye, 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 Namo Namah. And then what you do is you try to feel the vibration in your being, and you can perhaps feel like a shift, some sort of change, like a vibrancy, like a presence, like a kind of upliftment. Some sort of shift, and sometimes it can actually put your mind into meditation. Your thoughts start to become more still. And so with this, I want to explain a little bit about how a saint or a spiritual being teaches, how they share their message and what is their message. This is such an important subject that's often missed. And I'm going to just put this in the context of Jesus, since this is kind of the theme of this particular satsang, this gathering. So Jesus was and is a spiritual being, not a normal human being. And this is the first important understanding. With a normal human being, we are spreading around our consciousness of fear, greed, anger, hatred, boredom, sadness. Mostly human beings, their consciousness consists of that, at least during this time, during this age.
You have to throw in some good qualities, come on.
Yeah, well, I'm going to get to that.
Oh, thank you.
Once you start purifying your consciousness, in other words, when you start connecting to a spiritual vibration, then your consciousness changes. And so you've got some humans that have made some progress and they start feeling spontaneous joy, spontaneous love, spontaneous peace, spontaneous compassion. Spontaneous meaning they don't have to think about it. They're just naturally nice. They're naturally sweet. They're naturally fun. They're naturally buoyant. They're naturally happy. There's just this something emanating about them. And that happens because they attune to a spiritual being. Christ was trying to teach that through his vibration, not just his words. Not, well, I'm going to read the Bible and it says, love your neighbor and love God. Say, okay, thank you. I've got the teaching now. I'll remember that, and then it's done. Which is often the case when you go to church. They give you a message and then you're done. But how many people hear the word, oh, just be loving, and then they end up being loving to everyone who they meet? See, what I mean by that is just saying it doesn't mean that people become that. That's why when a being such as Christ, which is a pure emanation of the universe, let's say, that doesn't have the negativity that a normal human being has, now they're beaming their message, and nothing need be said. So the message is invisible. So he doesn't have to say anything. He uses words, Sermon on the Mount, things like, what I mean, like to try to speak the message so people will pay attention to him, so they have something to focus on and listen to. But all he has to do is be, sit, and just beaming out the message, the pure love, the pure joy, the pure bliss. And if you are soft enough, and if you really tune in, you can catch on to the energy of the vibration that's being beamed from him. That changes your consciousness. And then you become like him. Those are the teachings. They're silent. That's the point I'm trying to make. So, if everyone is really in tune here, I wouldn't be speaking a word. I would just say, let's sit down, close our eyes, and tune into the energy that's here present in the room. And we would just sit the entire hour and a half and feel the presence in the room. And I would say, okay, now we're done. And then you'd say, and if you're really in tune, you go, wow, that was great, Brian. And I didn't say a word because the teachings are invisible. So just the same here, the point of this gathering is to provide the space in which people can feel and awaken their heart again to that love, which everyone is seeking. But we're all sort of chasing after certain things to get it from the outside world. Whereas the message of Christ was go within, check within, and you can find the love within. And here we are, 2,000 years later, and we're still trying to chase after happiness. Whether it's, going to parties, going to, movies, going to bars, going to, car races, exciting events.
Eating chocolate ice cream.
Trying to get joy from the substances. Where all along, 2,000 years ago, Christ was saying just the opposite. Just the opposite. Which is all the joy is found within. But in order to do that, you must activate it first. And this is, not an easy thing to do. For me, it's taken quite literally years of serious spiritual work. I'm not saying everyone needs to go through this, but to face my negativity every single day, see where I'm reacting, and see where I dropped the plate. Remember I told you about that? Those opportunities happen every single day, whether we're talking to someone on the phone who's like a service tech or something like that, and they're not getting the job done, and we get impatient and upset at them. When they're just trying their best. They're not doing it on purpose to you. They're trying their best, but still we're impatient. Why? Maybe because we have a meeting to go to or something. You know what I mean? So, and especially in our society, we're oftentimes in a hurry to get to the next appointment, and the next appointment, and the next appointment. So whole life becomes a rush to get somewhere. And in the end, do you feel the love? In the end, are you on your deathbed and going and saying, wow, this is an amazing life. I am so full of joy right now. My heart is beaming. Many people are just like, oh God, I don't want to die. Oh God, I'm suffering. Oh God. It's like there's so much fear and worry at the end, at the unknown, Whereas the spiritual person who has the full heart has complete acceptance. And the beauty of that is that you learn that when the body dies, it's just like a change in clothes. You didn't go anywhere. You are as you are. Body may have, but this body, as we all know, it's made of 5 elements. This is not you. Everyone already knows this, but everyone just treats the body as if it's me. Did you see what I mean? This is my driver's license, this is my passport, and this is me. But it's not you, because it's the 5 elements. It's made of water, fire, earth, air, right? Each one of the elements. This is not you. And just to prove this, you could go to the doctor and say, doctor, could you cut open my body and find out where I am, please? And the doctor could look through your whole body, and could they find you? No. Therefore, you, the so-called you, this is not it. This is like changing clothes. Then, your soul takes on the next body. And then it goes on and, do you know the reason why souls keep taking on bodies? Because they believe that they're a body. That's why. You create your own world. Your mind, whatever you believe in most strongly at the point of death, that's what you'll become in the next lifetime. And it continues on and on and on and on until one day, and Christ said this, he was speaking to Nicodemus in the Bible, and he says, you must be born again. You're not born from the body, you must be born from spirit. Nicodemus said, oh, born again, you mean go back into the mother's womb and be born again? Is that what that means? He says, no, you need to be born from spirit, meaning you, as what you think you are, dies, and then your spiritual being is born. That's what born again means. But we are so busy focused on our body and our mind as us that continues on and on and on for thousands and thousands and thousands of lifetimes. Then when you meet a great sage like Christ, some people recognize that. They sit with Christ and they try to purify themselves, to realize their own spirit. And then Christ says, you can do as I can and even greater. He said this. So, it's a wonderful thing that he's trying to teach people how to die and be born again. He's trying to teach people how to become like him. How to purify their being so that they can transform themselves into spirit, where there's no problem anymore. There's no problems. Problem only comes when it comes to I am body and I am mind, and therefore all the suffering of life begins. And again, as I said, it's so hard to be kind and loving and compassionate when we've got so many problems for ourselves. Oh, I can't help you right now. I can't even pay attention to you now, right? Because I've got too many problems myself. As I said, how can you serve others when you've got so many problems yourself? It's hard. And if you've got negativity, then wherever you go, as I said, even if you don't say anything, your vibration will be caught on. Other people will catch on to that vibration. So then you have and I consider this, you have a responsibility to purify your consciousness so that you're spreading light instead of darkness. I consider that as your responsibility. Looking at yourself every single day, seeing how you can improve day by day by day, slowly becoming more and more like the Christ, or Christ conscious. And that is the spiritual path in a nutshell. Spirituality 101. And this is, hopefully they share this in church. You go to church and hopefully that's what they share. Usually they don't, but usually it's a lot of just quotes from the Bible and things like that, and analyzing the Bible and stuff. And I don't mind that. I like reading the Bible. It's not that I'm against that, but I'm much more about the invisible presence that's created in the room that you can tune into, rather than memorizing quotes from the Bible and saying, look, I'm spiritual. And then how do you prove that you're spiritual? Go out in the world and see how you react to the challenges. And if one day suddenly you're not reacting in a situation that you used to be really scared of, or that you used to get really angry, you are improving. You're making steps ahead. Every day, looking at one's reactions and seeing how to change those, transform those, purify those. And you have an opportunity every day. Trust me, someone's going to push your button sometime during the day. So you're going to be bothered by something, whether it's watching something on TV or it's meeting someone in person. You're going to have some sort of judgment. Christ talks about judgment. He says, He says, yes, you can judge a person, but first he suggests take the mote out of your own eye. Before you say, oh, you know, you're a bad person and you did this and this and this and this and you're mean and you're cruel and you're bad or this and that, which is so easy to do for the mind. Before you do that, purify the badness inside you. Because guaranteed, whatever that person has done to you, you've done to other people as well. You've got the same problem as they do. So how do we have the right to criticize others when we haven't even worked out that issue ourselves? Then you can have some compassion for people who are mean to you. You go, oh, that person's having a bad day. Instead of like, God, you're mean and you're cruel and I don't like you and I'm looking down on you because you're so judgmental. No, I'm judgmental too. And so was everyone else. We're all in the same boat. So how am I gonna go around judging everyone when I've got the same problems? This is how we can develop compassion. When I realize I have the same problems as everyone else. Right? What a huge concept. So if I find myself judging, God, that person's so disrespectful. I can say, well, let me remember all the times that I was disrespectful towards someone else. Then I can't think of them badly anymore. I have to take the mote out of my own eye first. These are deep teachings. Like, this is no joke. And, you know, as I said, not so easy, but that's why it's a daily kind of self-reflection rather than just one day, Sunday, I'm going to be good, I'm going to go to church, I'm going to be a good person, yes, I'm going to do it. And then the next day, you know, I just give in to all my angers and all my judgments and I don't even look at them. And I just wallow. You know? We have to try hard to break through our negativity. We can't just sit back and let it take over. So this mantra is for love. This next mantra, this one's way easier than the one we just did. This one is Anandam, Premanandam. So in Sanskrit, in ancient India, the word Anandam means bliss. Pure, unadulterated joy. Just endless, perfect joy, totally untainted by any negative emotion whatsoever, any negative thought. Just pure joy. That's Ananda. And then Prem, P-R-E-M, that means pure love. Pure love. So, you know, again, pure love can only exist when you don't have judgments towards a person. When your consciousness is pure, then you can have pure love. So, I'll sing it and then you can sing it along with me and we'll connect with the energy and vibration of the mantra. Anandam Premanandam. 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 visualizing the energy as light in your heart space. Try to see it glowing there, warming your heart, purifying your heart, awakening the love and compassion, kindness, care. Feel the warmth of that light spreading through your chest, up into your shoulders, your neck, brain. And down through your arms. Spreads down your abdomen, into your pelvis, and down into your legs, into your feet. Your whole body just glowing with the light of your heart. And then it spreads into your aura, surrounds your body with the light. Visualize it spreading through the whole room, blessing the room. Making the room holy. image of all of the saints, all of the sages, all of the prophets. Hurry home. Come back to your own soul. Everything you need or ever wanted is within. You are whole and complete. Nothing is wrong with you. You are pure consciousness, pure love, pure joy, complete peace. Hurry home. And so we place our hands in prayer position in front of our heart. And this next mantra, which is